Hi everyone. Today I'm going to share to you about two poems by Najwa Shihab that these are called Making a Feast and Two Countries. And as you know, Naomi is well-known Palestinian and American poet, and most of her poems talk about feelings, loneliness, hope, and finding meaning in life. Okay. First, let's talk about the speaker in these poems. Both use a first person point of view. In Making a Feast, the speaker is a 7 years old kid who feels like he's dying in a long car trip. He says, I was 7. I lay in the car watching palm trees swirl and sickening pattern past the glass. And in two countries, the speaker is an adult who remember how lonely lonely and then it feels like when nobody touch your skin. The line is she remembers how long the years grow when skin is not touched. So even though they're in different situations, both are tell us about feeling lonely and trying to stay strong. And next, next is talk about tones or the feeling of the poems. In Making a Feast, starts out scared and anxious because the child feels like life is slipping away. This is the line. I felt the life sliding out of me, a drum in the desert, harder and harder to hear. But later becomes more hopeful when his mom tells him, when you can no longer make a fist. It means as long you can still clench your hand, your life. Meanwhile, in two countries, keeps a sad and lonely tones from the beginning to the end. Even when the speaker isn't lonely anymore, the sadness stay inside. Okay, now for the figure of speech Naomi uses. In Making a Feast, there's a metaphor like my stomach was a melon split wide inside my skin, which 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 show how bad the kid felt. And the sentence when you can no longer make a fist is symbol for being alive. And in two countries, there's a personification like skin remembers how long the years grow when the skin is not touched. As 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 if skin can think like a person. And then there's also a metaphor like love means you breathe into countries, meaning love can exist across distance. Okay, and then we're going to talk about the imagery. In sorry, in Making a Face, you can imagine palm trees moving outside the window and the kid feeling dizzy. That's called visual imagery. And the line about his stomach is called organic imagery because it describes a feeling inside the body. And in two countries, there's a tactile imagery, like skin remembers how long the years grow when skin is not touched, showing how bad it feels to be lonely. And there's a visual imagery too, like nose like a city, and then hip like a city, gleaming dome of the mosque, where the body is compared to a city. And then we're going to talk about theme. About the themes, making a fish making a fish is talk about hope and survival even when you're afraid. A little advice from his moms give the power, the strength to the child to keep going. And in two countries, it's about loneliness, longing, and love that cross countries and cultures. It shows how people can still feel lonely. It shows how people can still feel lonely even when they're not physically alone. And the lastly is the ideology. Naomi's poems are humanist and existentialist. She believes humans are weak sometimes, but still have the power to survive, find meaning, and connect with each other. In making a fish, she reminds us how hub is so important to us. And in two countries, she shows that loneliness and love are things everyone will feel in their life. And Naomi believes people can break through personal and social limits to find meaning and strength. Okay, that is from me. Thank you for listening. See you next time.